Big automakers are in crisis. Dealers are overwhelmed with unsold inventory, but it's only a few specific models that buyers are flat out refusing to buy. Is it high prices, poor reliability, or not enough bang for the buck? Today, we're diving into these models that are rotting away at dealerships, using the latest inventory data to highlight exactly why no one's pulling the trigger. Starting with number 1, Lincoln Navigator.
The Navigator comes with a 13.2-inch touchscreen with Sync 4, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 12-inch LCD instrument cluster, 360-degree camera, a head-up display, wireless charger, heated steering wheel, 24-way heated and ventilated leather front seats with memory, 14-speaker Revel audio system, panoramic sunroof with shade, power liftgate, Lincoln Copilot 360 2.0, and Blue Cruise 1.0.
The Lincoln Navigator should be the perfect mix of luxury and power on paper. It's got the sleek design, the high-end features, and that look-at-me presence. But when you look closer, it's not so much a luxury SUV as it's a very expensive problem. With the 262-day supply and over 8,700 unsold units, it's clear buyers aren't exactly lining up for it. Let's start with what's good. The interior Navigator feels like a first-class cabin on wheels, with plush leather, fine stitching, and massaging seats, which are perfect for long drives if you can get past the fact that you're paying over $100,000 for it. The 48-inch panoramic dashboard screen is the showstopper. It's big, flashy, and has just about every piece of technology you could imagine. Under the hood, it has a 440 horsepower twin-turbocharged V6, which means it can tow, accelerate, and haul stuff with ease. Not bad for a big SUV. But here's the problem. In a market where luxury buyers expect perfection, the Navigator just doesn't measure up. At $105,000, it's competing with the Range Rover and Mercedes-Benz GLS, both of which have built a reputation for themselves. And then there's the fact that the Navigator is, let's just face it, a fancier Ford Expedition. That's a tough sell when you're charging that much for just plain bad fuel economy. It only gives 16 miles to the gallon, which might have been acceptable if we were still in the 90s. We're now in an era where hybrids and EVs are the big craze, so this car doesn't make sense. Even the latest Land Cruiser from Toyota is a hybrid. Sure, there's plenty of room inside, but if you're after a luxury SUV that's practical, the Navigator isn't it, and numbers speak for themselves. A 262-day supply means dealers can't get rid of them fast enough, and with 8,700 unsold units sitting around at dealerships, it's clear the Navigator isn't exactly living up to the luxury SUV hype. Without some major updates or a pricing rethink, it's in danger of fading into the background of a very crowded market. Number 2, Hyundai Ioniq 6.
Let's start off this video by talking about the design of the Ioniq 6. As you can see, it looks very different to the Ioniq 5. It's got this really sleek, swoopy body, which is designed to reduce drag for maximum efficiency. It's actually based on a concept car that Hyundai did called the Prophecy, which looked super cool. This is very similar, but not quite as cool.
The Hyundai Ioniq 6 came into the EV scene with big ideas, trying to make space in a niche that's already full of electric cars. With its sleek, futuristic design, it screams innovation and sustainability. But while it might turn heads, it's been struggling to turn those heads into sales. It is safe to say the Ioniq 6 is not attracting as many customers as Hyundai had hoped, considering its 263-day supply and the nearly 6,000 unsold units that are sitting in dealerships collecting dust. The design isn't so bad though. As per usual, Hyundai definitely took a risk here and went with an aerodynamic, spaceship-like look. Some people will call it cool, but most people who'd rather go for a Toyota bZ4X will wonder if it's even reliable. It's a polarizing style, and that's a tough sell when most people are just looking for something that fits in their suburban driveway without causing them too many issues. Love it or hate it, this kind of bold design can be a barrier for mass appeal. To make matters worse, it doesn't even have competitive pricing. At around $46,000, the Iconic 6 isn't exactly a steal. While it's competitive for an EV, it's sitting in that sweet spot where buyers have tons of other choices. Many of them are larger and more versatile SUVs. People shopping for an electric vehicle often care about range and practicality, and unfortunately, the Iconic 6 doesn't exactly stand out in those areas. It's up against not only other sedans, but also electric SUVs and crossovers that have more space and utility. But what makes it really tough for the Ioniq 6 are the bigger trends in the market. Sedans are on the decline, with SUVs and crossovers gobbling up more of the market share. The Ioniq 6 is a fantastic car if you're looking for a sleek, sporty sedan, but most buyers these days want more space and versatility. As the EV revolution has pushed bigger brands like Toyota and Honda to make EVs as well, people looking for a practical electric car would rather lean towards larger vehicles, leaving the Ioniq 6 to fight an uphill battle. The Ioniq 6 is suffering from a market that isn't prepared for it, with almost 6,000 unsold units and a 263-day supply. Hyundai tried to make a splash with an innovative electric sedan, but without hitting the sweet spot for practicality, it's finding itself on the sidelines of the EV game. Number 3. Land Rover Discovery Sport.
But the elephant in the room with all products that have this badge is the reliability record. The Land Rover Discovery Sport finished second from bottom in its class in the What Car 2023 Reliability Survey. And Land Rover as a whole finished 28th out of 32 car companies. You get a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty as standard, but there are many alternatives to this car.
The Land Rover Discovery Sport has a British luxury badge, so it should be the perfect mix of adventure and elegance. But in reality, it's been a tough sell. At around $55,000, it positions itself as a premium choice in the crowded SUV market. It's got a sleek design, the adventurous name, and the promise of luxury. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find plenty of issues that have left buyers more frustrated than impressed. Let's start with the biggest red flag, reliability. It's received a miserable 30 out of 100 predicted reliability ratings from Consumer Reports, with owners reporting everything from faulty suspension to horrible transmission response. It's probably because it has engine components from BMW. For a luxury SUV, these kinds of issues are a hard pill to swallow, especially when competitors in the same price range offer far more dependable options. Performance-wise, the Discovery Sport doesn't impress. Drivers are disappointed by the slow acceleration of its 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine, which simply doesn't have the punch you'd expect from a Land Rover. Throw in a mediocre 19 miles per gallon, and it's an SUV that's neither powerful nor efficient. It's not like the Discovery Sport is a big, heavy SUV either, so this lack of efficiency feels like a missed opportunity to win over cost-conscious buyers looking for luxury. The Discovery Sport ultimately comes off as more of a showpiece than a viable rival in the market for high-end SUVs. Sure, it looks good, but it doesn't back up those looks with the performance or reliability buyers expect at this price. If you're looking for luxury with practicality, alternatives like the BMW X3 or Audi Q5 offer better engines, better interior, and better fuel economy. Dealerships are having trouble getting these off the lot because of the 269-day supply. The Discovery Sport's market difficulties are a wake-up call for Land Rover, which is already notorious for being unreliable. Without a major fix in reliability and efficiency, it's hard to see how this SUV will regain its place in the luxury segment. Number 4. Audi Q8.
So it looks old school Audi, but it's new school with like way wicked LEDs. Everyone's gonna copy this soon.
Probably, and then when you lock it and when you unlock it, it does a bunch of cool light dances.
Oh, I love the dances.
Yeah, it's good.
And then if we move to the side view, it's pretty tame, pretty robotic, I guess. Not too much character.
I mean, Audi is kind of a robotic looking company and kind of operating company.
Yeah, just crispness and sharpness, not too much character.
The Audi Q8 should be the ultimate blend of style and performance in the luxury SUV world. It has that sleek, coupe-like design, a great interior, and all the premium features you'd expect from an $85,000 price tag. It's a dream on paper, but on the road, Not so much. This SUV is really struggling to live up to the hype, even with all the bells and whistles. The Q8 looks great, to be fair. It's sharp, modern, and packed with tech. The interior feels like a luxury lounge, but there's one big issue. It sacrifices practicality for the style. Unlike its sibling, the Q7 or even the Q6, which offer a more traditional 3-row layout and loads of interior space, the Q8 sticks to a 5-seater with a sloping rear. That's a tough sell for a family vehicle, especially with an $85,000 price tag. The Q8 costs about $15,000 more than the Q7, and while the Q8 might look better, the Q7 offers more space, better fuel efficiency, and the convenience of a 3rd row. It's tough to justify the Q8's higher price tag when it's not bringing enough extra to the table. And if that wasn't enough, the luxury SUV market has a lot more competition, with plenty of alternatives that offer more space, practicality, and even better value. The Q8 lacks enough features to differentiate itself from the Q7 and its competitors, even though it might appeal to consumers who value design. It's just caught in an awkward middle ground. It's obvious that dealerships are having trouble getting these off the lot given the 270-day supply. Audi has to ask itself if it really needs both the Q8 and the Q7, especially when one of them is getting left behind. Number 5. Nissan Z.
About a price range, $60,000.
Yeah.
Where you have to love the looks of a car. That's part of it. It has to charm you. I'm trying to get used to this mouth because it's big and square and
Is it like this?
it's not great. Yeah, it looks like when you put the thing in the dentist teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the profile is fantastic. And you know what? We mentioned the Supra. That new Supra doesn't look like a graduation from the last Supra. If you put them together, you'd be like, is that a different car?
No, this is very much Z.
The Nissan Z was supposed to be the big comeback. After all, this wasn't just any sports car. It was the heir to the iconic Fairlady Z S30. For those who don't know, the original 240Z debuted in the late 60s, and by the time it entered production in 1978, it had already become a JDM legend. Nissan teased the return of the Z in 2020, promising to revive the spirit of the original. As you might imagine, Nissan fanboys had very high expectations. They wanted the continuation of a legacy, so Nissan really had to deliver. Now, at a starting price of $55,000, the new Nissan Z had a lot riding on its shoulders. The retro-inspired design certainly looked great. It had sharp lines, a sleek profile, and LED headlights that screamed modern, but are somehow still vintage. All pull its design language from the original 240Z's DNA. The design is definitely a callback to what made the S30 a legend, and Nissan didn't skimp under the hood, like Land Rover's 2.0-liter engine either. The Z comes equipped with a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged V6, pumping out 400 horsepower. That's enough to make your heart race, especially when you floor it. The interior is also a good balance between sporty and comfortable, with enough tech to make you feel like you're in the 21st century, while still giving off that old-school performance vibe. But despite all the anticipation, the Z's debut hasn't exactly been the success Nissan hoped for. The first problem was the production delays. When you're hyping a car as much as Nissan did with the Z, delays are a major setback. Buyers are left waiting, and the excitement that was supposed to make this launch an event fizzled out. By the time it finally hit dealerships, some of the hype had worn off. Then there's the competition. For $55,000, you're not just getting the Nissan Z, you've got a lot more options to choose from. The Toyota Supra, Ford Mustang GT, and Chevrolet Camaro all offer similar performance, and in many cases, more features, larger engines, and better tech. The Z might seem appealing to buyers who care more about pure performance, but the reality is it's going up against some serious tough competition. It's the car that Nissan fans were waiting for, but it's also the cars that others were ready to leapfrog with more bang for their buck. And this brings us to the Z's poor market performance. With a 350-day supply and over 2,000 unsold units still sitting on lots, it's clear that Nissan's relaunch of the Z brand didn't pan out. The nostalgia factor is there, but it's not enough to convince the broader market to jump on board. The Z is now finding itself on the back burner, as buyers opt for other performance cars that offer more value for the dollar. So, what's the future for the Z? Well, for it truly to succeed, it's gonna need more than just a retro vibe and an engine that purrs. Nissan will have to figure out how to stand out in a crowded market, whether that's through unique technology, enhanced performance features, or just better overall practicality. Until that happens, the Z may only appeal to a small group of enthusiasts, like Rolls-Royce does. But a Rolls also makes 10 times more profit with each car, and Nissan doesn't get the same luxury. These cars might look like they'd be an easy sell, but once you see them sitting at the same spot at dealerships for longer than they should, they fall short. Thanks for watching. Maybe steer clear of these models if you're thinking about getting a new car.